In this video, I'm going to talk about the importance of reinventing yourself as a guy in your 20s and realistically how to do it, right? And the reason I want to share this is because in the past 4 years, I've looked at my life and I've had to reinvent myself multiple times. And chances are, if you are living a undesirable life right now, or you want to make a change or something like that, life is just a mirror of who you are. So I don't want you to get lost in the sauce of trying to change things externally when you got to understand that you got to reinvent yourself and change yourself within, right? And as somebody who's gone through multiple reinventions of myself, gone through updating multiple versions of myself, from, waking up and being unhealthy and overweight to waking up in a body that I love, from waking up and being super anxious and shy and putting myself down and low self-esteem, to now having an abundant social life, having an abundant, life in general, being an attractive person, and having a fun time and being able to hit it off with just anybody. And even financially, going from pursuing careers and succeeding in them of things that I really did not want, to now having more clarity in what it is that I do want. I think now that I've been reflecting on this, there was this section in the book The Way of the Superior Man that says, as a man, you have to be willing to drop everything and change your life to pursue your greatest purpose. And that's the reason I want to make this video specifically for you, man, is because I don't want you to, bust your ass off, pursue something just to look back. And once you succeed in it, you look back and you're like, whoa, that wasn't even really what I wanted. And I think that's when these reinventions of yourself comes in, these little software updates, quote unquote, of yourself to be able to adapt to, new information that is coming into your life of what you like and what you don't like. So with that being said, the solution to all of this is knowing that you need to reinvent yourself and a foolproof system to be able to do so. And so step number one here that I want to talk about when it comes to reinventing yourself is having a vision for what you actually do want, right? And now this vision is always going to be changing in life, and you're going to have information and experiences that tell you what it is that you want out of life and what it is that you don't want, so you can kind of shape it out as clear as possible. But if you're not aiming for something, you're aiming for nothing, and you're going to be spread all over the place. And that's why I said, have a vision for yourself, right? What do you want your life to look like? What does the best version of yourself currently in your head look like? What is he doing on a day in and day out? What are his habits? What type of food does he put into his body? What type of people does he hang out with, and all this and all that? And I think the important part of having a vision and visualizing is that your subconscious mind, it kind of works. Like, imagine you drop your phone under the mattress or under the couch, and you kind of have your hand going under. You can't see it, but you know what your phone is going to feel like when you grasp onto it. And you may, touch some dust, some socks, whatever is under your bed, but you're gonna know as soon as you feel your phone. And bringing a vision out into reality kind of works the same way, where you are telling your subconscious mind, hey, this is who we are, this is the vision that we have for ourselves, this is the standard that I am going to uphold myself to, right? And as you say that, life kind of just filters out the socks and the dust until you get that firm grasp on the quote unquote phone, which is going to be your vision. And so that's why you need to have a vision written down in full detail. And again, this is always going to be changing. And to help you out with this as well, in the link in the description below, I have a free vision blueprint where you can write down everything it is that you need to write down. And it's going to ask you, it's loaded with a bunch of prompts, questions, and little plans for you to be able to get super clear on your vision and bring that into life, and by being the version of yourself that lives that life, right? So that's completely for free. It's in the link in the description below. But having a vision, bro, I'm telling you, it's one step out of 5, but I feel like it knocks out 50% of all the work, right? Is just having that vision for yourself and keeping that on your mind 24/7, so that as you live intentionally day in and day out, if something isn't aligned with your vision, you're able to filter it out, right? And square pegs can't get fit into round holes, right? So have a vision for yourself. Step number 2, like I said, is the filtering out process, right? That vision that you have for yourself and you're putting in, it's going to filter out any BS going forward. But you also need to take a look at the habits, the limiting beliefs, the connections and the dynamics and the relationships and the maybe quote unquote addictions that you may have right now. And ask yourself if these things are serving you or if they're not. And you got to be able to remove those things, and you got to declutter. So now that you have a vision, and this is actively looking for things that align with that to bring them in, you have to be able to clear the space out in order to receive all the things that your vision wants to bring in, right? Because if you're like, imagine a cup, right? And it's full of grape juice, but you don't want grape juice, you want water. You're not going to be able to fill up your cup with water until you empty out the fucking grape juice. And again, it's just a funny example here, but life works the same way. If you are holding on to limiting beliefs, negative habits, undesirable, eating undesirable foods that don't align with your highest self, or even simple stuff as having clothes in your closet that your highest self would not wear, it's time to get rid of those things and create space for the new, right? And you can do this proactively, and that's going to give you a sense of power over your life rather than having it be done, by the world or whatever it is. But you have to be willing to let go in order to receive. So take a look at your life. What is it that is misaligned? What is it that isn't going to be in the dream version of you? It could be the job or the career trajectory that you're working on. It could be the relationships. It could be whatever it may be. And just get rid of it with grace, right? Now, make sure, obviously, you don't want to have any, loose ends. Make sure you tie everything closed nicely, whatever it is. That way you're not burning more karma off. But be willing to let go of those things if they don't resonate, match, reflect, or imply the highest version of yourself. And let go and clear that space. Now, step number 3, right? Step number 3 is to make it impossible to fail. And the way you make it impossible to fail isn't by relying on willpower or discipline, this, that, the other. That's all side effects, but instead to have systems in place that make it impossible for you to lose, right? So there's this quote by James Clear. It's like, the goal isn't to run a marathon, it's to be a runner. And the same goal with you in your life, right? Whatever it is, whatever vision that you have that you are using to reinvent yourself with, it's not to go achieve that vision, but it's to become the version of yourself that naturally lives that vision day in and day out. And that's where you gotta lock in, right? You gotta create the fucking systems, routines, identities, thoughts, habits, everything in place that supports and brings you towards that vision, or at least brings that vision towards you, right? And now that there's no excuses here, because you've already let go of everything that doesn't align with that. And this is where you need to lock in. This is where you need to say, okay, cool. The version of myself that is healthy, what is he doing every day? Well, he's waking up. He's gonna work out in the morning because that's when he has like the most energy and he's clear and he's able to get his shit done before he goes into whatever his financial thing is for that day. He's gonna do that. So right now, I got to start doing that. I got to start working out in the morning. I got to presently right now go to the gym in the morning, hit my workouts. Hold on. He's lifting like a heavy weight. How did he get to that heavy weight? Because right now, the version of myself right now, he started to progressively overload. Now he's able to lift that heavy weight with ease, right? So now the goals aren't things that you want to achieve out of yourself. The goals are things that you naturally bring into life as a byproduct of who you are, right? And so that's where that step comes in, right? It's to set the systems in place that make it impossible for you to lose. And to help you out with this and help you lock in even further, I have a locked in protocol in the description below. Now, this protocol has helped me, my friends, and countless other people be able to hit their goals and achieve their dreams within 90 days. And it's going to help you out as well. So make sure you check that out in the description below. It's essentially a guide that's going to help you out with all of this and have a place for you to be able to track, write down, and get clear on what it is that you need to do in order to get what it is that you want out of your life. So now that you have a clear vision for yourself, you've removed everything that was holding you back from doing that, and you now have the systems in place to be able to get you there, right? This is where step number 4 comes in, and it's to make sure that you are prioritizing your health across all facets, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, right? Because the thing is that these things, your emotional, mental, spiritual health, social health, all these things are battery. And if these drain, then you won't be able to sustain the consistency in step number 3, and you'll fall back into the defaults from step number 2, letting go of the vision in your step number 1. And that's something that I've had to learn, bro, is to make sure that you are taking care of the vessel and to not get lost in the sauce, especially when things start to go right for you, right? Especially when you start to whatever your goal is, right? Make the money or get the opportunities or blow up your brand, whatever it is. I don't want you getting lost in the sauce and forgetting that you are the source and you are the person that brought all of that into fruition, right? This happened to me back in the day when I started making good money, but my health was out of whack. And then ultimately everything kind of fell off because I wasn't sustaining the source. You got to remember that you are the source. You are the version of yourself bringing all of this into fruition. And what's the point if having all these external things if you're not happy with yourself internally, right? It doesn't make sense. And again, that is feedback and everything like that too, right? But you need to be able to make sure that your battery levels are high. So do the things, right? Take care of your health, because I guarantee you nobody's going to write down in their vision, I want to make about as much money as I can, and I want to have diabetes, and I want to have all these different diseases and this, that, the other. Nobody's writing that down. You're usually going to write down that you want to be a healthier version of yourself. Primarily, the stuff that you put in your number one in the vision doesn't even have to do with it being that. Like, it's not the car, it's not the job, it's not this, that, the other. Primarily, it has to do with the emotions that you're going to feel, right? The happiness that you're going to have, the abundance that you're going to have, the peace that you're going to have, right? The friendships and the quality of the relationships that you're going to have. That's one of the things I've learned in life, is that we don't do things because we want that thing. We do things because we think it's going to bring out an emotion within us. And that's essentially our primarily driver, right? Emotions of security, love, and wealth, right? And health. Another thing that I've learned in life is that there's no destination, right? The destination is actually how you walk the journey. There's this false fallacy, that the arrival fallacy, that, oh, once I get this, then I'll be happy. No, if you're not happy now, you're not going to be happy then. So start to be happy right now as you are pursuing your goals. Start to be healthy right now as you are pursuing your goals. Start to be abundant and socially charismatic right now as you are pursuing your goals. And that's going to unlock more opportunities for you, because life isn't linear, right? It's going to be compounding exponentially on this stuff. But how you walk the journey is the destination. So make sure you're walking it in the healthiest, happiest, most fulfilled version of yourself. And step number 5, bro, is to make sure that you are having fun along the way. Because if you're not having fun, what's the fucking point of all this stuff, right? What's the point of putting all this effort and energy into this vision, right? And yeah, there may be points where you get to step number 5 and you realize, damn, this vision that I set for myself is actually not fun. And that's good. That's feedback, right? Redo the loop and change the inputs. Understand, okay, cool, maybe that goal that you were chasing, some parts of it you liked, some parts of it you didn't like, but at least you got to bring it into fruition. And if you're able to bring that into fruition, imagine what else you're able to bring into fruition. And just have fun along the way, right? And again, what you are doing day in and day out, the whole goal here is to build the best life possible. So your work should feel like play. Your workouts should feel like fun to you, right? You should be releasing the dopamine and the inputs, which then create better outputs, which then create better outcomes. But learn to have some fun along the way. Now, for me, like something that I like to do for fun, I don't really care for going out or whatever, but I do love to travel. So I will plan a trip, right? I do love to hang out with my friends and get group workouts in. So on a Saturday, instead of going out and ruining all my fucking progress by eating junk food, this, that, the other, I will double down and I'll go for a long run with my friends, and we'll go hit the cold plunge in the ocean after, and go to the beach and just toss a football around and get it tan in, whatever the fuck it is. Or I'll read a book, right? Doing something that is actually fun to me, that progresses me towards my goals. And now you see how it's this beautiful loop, right? It's this beautiful loop that at the end, once you start to implement the systems in life, you're having fun, you start to realize that the outcome and the vision that you have for yourself, it's already yours. It has no choice but to come to you. And it's this beautiful cycle that keeps repeating. And that's how you are able to reinvent yourself and reinvent yourself and reinvent yourself, man. That is it for this video. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, whatever it is that you need to do. Make sure you check out those resources that I have linked in the description below. And recently I have been having a lot of demand, people DMing me if I do either like personal training or just advice with like how to keep grounded and stay on track to get to goals and all that stuff. So I will be opening up one-on-one spots soon once I figure out the whole program and what I want it to look like specifically. But if you do have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM. I'd be happy to help however I can right now specifically. And just again, I appreciate all the love and everything that I've been getting in the DMs and people telling me that the videos that I'm making, the advice that I'm giving out has been helping them or helping out a family member. And that's what it's all about. So hit the subscribe button and I will see you in the next one.